Today we need to talk about ballerina farms. There was an article that was posted that had people up in arms, believing that Ballerina Farms was being controlled by her husband. They are, after all, in a Mormon family, and there is a lot of control that goes on by men in that cult, and I'm going to call it what it is. It is a cult. And so this article came out, and there were some very concerning things that this reporter wrote about this family in this article. And today we're going to go over that. And I've been actually wanting to talk about this since it came out. If you guys saw my Nara Smith video, I actually talked about Ballerina Farms at the end of that video, because at the time that I was doing my Nara Smith one, people were being very dramatic about Ballerina Farms doing a pageant 12 days postpartum, saying that she was, promoting like unrealistic standards and blah, 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 and just making it all about them instead of letting her feel empowered about doing a pageant 12 days postpartum. I can assure you that is not what I was doing. I was laying in bed breastfeeding my baby, and not one is better than the other. But I tell you what, I'd look at someone like Ballerina Farms and think, wow, that's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. This is like her, 8th kid, I think. And for her to be breastfeeding as she's getting ready to do a pageant 12 days postpartum, like, unreal. My mind can't even comprehend that. Like, there are two different types of people out there. There's me, there's Ballerina Farms. But anyways, I talked about that because people were really upset about that, and I thought that it was very unfair because, this is also kind of tying into that, and that's men and other women as well thinking that they can control what another woman does with her body, even if that's doing a pageant 12 days postpartum or forcing her to have a bunch of children and be a homestead Tradwife who doesn't get to do her own careers and aspirations, which that is what a lot of people are saying is happening, is that her husband basically ruined her life. One of the things that had people up in arms about this family is that they had this misconception that they were this family that were raising their children off of their own business, where they run a meat business out of their farm. But the husband, Daniel, is actually an heir to JetBlue. So he's a billionaire and his family is a billionaire. People were upset because they believed that they were misleading the public. First, we're going to start by reacting to the TikTok that she posted, where she was talking about how they were going to come and shadow her.
James is coming out and doing a profile piece. Hi, Jojo. So we're getting ready for that. They're just going to shadow us during the day just as we make meals and be a mom and create content. Just getting our makeup on, Miss Flora and I. We're also going to do a little family photo shoot out in the meadow. They want me in like a gown. Huh.
My oregano.
Oregano?
Say hi, Fletcher.
Gotta go get some ground beef and get it thawing for lunch. Was it Urban Monkey?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly that.
Well, because she just tapped, so she's really thinking about taking it.
Mabel!
Mabel.
No, Mabel. And then back at me. Nice.
Hey!
Here, she can come. Yeah.
Okay, so we have done a lot today. Kitchen stuff, farm stuff. The boys are roping right now, and I am going to get into a gown.
Everyone look at your dad.
Poor Joe.
She looks really tired, and I do feel bad to say that, but I mean, anybody would be very, very tired with that many children. There's a lot of clips that people have pulled up of her just completely disassociating. She's spaced out, staring out into nothing, and she looks really tired and worn out. But I mean, you're gonna be when you have that many kids. Nobody's gonna have that many kids and not be tired. Like, of course she's gonna be tired. That doesn't mean that she doesn't love her life, and I'm not gonna get on here and be like, oh, she hates her life. Oh, she doesn't love her life. She's miserable. I'm not gonna speak for her because I mean, if we all think that her husband's speaking for her, we definitely shouldn't be. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to speak for her, but I mean, I only have one child, and sometimes I'm really tired, and I'm sure I look exhausted, and I'm sure I look miserable, but deep down, I love my life. I love my son. I wouldn't trade him for the world. You know what I mean? Just, if you're a mom, you get it. Just some days you're just exceptionally tired, and with 8 kids, I cannot even imagine. So maybe these are just days where she didn't get any sleep and she's just spaced out, and maybe it's not that she hates her life. But when this article came out, it makes it more concerning because people are looking at these videos and this behavior that she's exhibiting and then applying those moments to what is in this article. And there are some very disturbing things that people have brought up that we're going to talk about. This one says, they have a cleaner but no childcare. Neilman does all the food shopping, kids in tow, and cooks from scratch. They don't do ready meals. Despite the traditional aspects of their relationship, Daniel is a hands-on father, taking the kids out to the farm and doing all the laundry. The children appear to look after each other quite well too. There are so many that they seem to have become an almost self-sustaining entity. Still, Daniel says Neilman sometimes gets so ill from exhaustion that she can't get out of bed for a week. Y'all, there are multiple things in that one small paragraph alone that is concerning. She can't have a nanny, someone help her with all of her children, because he doesn't want her to have that. So it's interesting because, as I was saying earlier in the video, they run this meat and sourdough business out of their home, right? And out of their farm. Well, Daniel has people that work for him in his meat business. He has help, but she can't have people help her with her 8 children. Like, you have people helping you with your 8 cows. Let her have some help if she needs it. It doesn't make her less of a woman or less of a human to need help. Everybody needs help. They say, what, it takes a village to raise a child? You know what I mean? And she's got 8 of them and she doesn't even have help. And also, if you love her so much and she, she's the love of your life and you love your children, wouldn't you want them all to be healthy? And wouldn't you want her to have help and support and to be comfortable? Like, you're going to just exhaust yourself to the point where it's not good if you are just constantly doing everything and you don't have any help. And I'm sorry, doing the laundry ain't enough. You need to step it up. And I mean, at the end of this quote, it says that sometimes she's so exhausted from doing all of this that she can't get out of bed for a week. Do you realize how abnormal that is? Not normal. If you are so exhausted, you cannot function for a week. You're sick. You're sick from exhaustion. You need a break. And a husband who loves you and supports you is going to want you to have help. Like, I don't understand why she couldn't have a nanny, because the other part in this is that the reporter states that the children all kind of like work together and help each other. And this reminds me a lot of the Duggar family. If you guys know, I've done lots of videos on the Duggars. I always have a lot to say about them because a lot of their older daughters have grown up and gotten out of the cult, and they've spoke out about it, and they've talked about how detrimental it was to their childhood and their mental health to be caretakers of their siblings when they were still children themselves, because their parents kept having so many kids. Ballerinafarm's children, are obviously going through the same thing where they're all kind of like doing their own thing and having to kind of take care of themselves and take care of their siblings because there's too many of them for the mom to do everything. So why is it such a bad thing if they had a nanny, somebody that they trusted, that could just be there with her while she's watching her children and just help her out with stuff? What's wrong with that? I feel like that's a very positive thing. They're from a family of billionaires, okay? They have a lot of money. They can absolutely afford the childcare. So why wouldn't you just take it? So let's continue through this article. Our first few years of marriage were really hard. We sacrificed a lot, she says. We did have this vision, this dream. And then Daniel interrupts her and says, we still do. Somebody's feeling a bit insecure. What kind of sacrifices? I ask her. Well, I gave up dance, which was hard. You give up a piece of yourself, and Daniel gave up his career ambitions. But did he though? Because he's out there running a meat business and he has all these workers and all these people helping him and stuff. So did he really though? Did he really? Because it sounds like, he's still getting fulfilled in the business aspect of his life. You know what I mean? Like he's still getting fulfillment there. He replaced one thing with another. What thing does she get to do for herself that's consistent, not an occasional pageant here and there, but what does she get to do for herself on a day-to-day basis like him that makes her feel like she's still an individual and a person? Like, what does she get to do? Because he may have gave up one career, but he replaced it with another. What did she replace dancing with? And it's okay for her to need a little bit of a break and have something that's just for her. And she deserves to hear that that's okay and to be supported through that and not made to feel guilty and be like, oh, well, this is what Jesus would want, which is what they all believe. It's just interesting to me. And now, there's just some things throughout this article that don't give me this vibe like she's just this totally helpless person who's just can't make any decisions for herself at all. I feel like she's very much wrapped up in this as well and thinks that this is the way she needs to do things. I think that she's a part of it now. I think that she's brainwashed into this system. She probably feels like it's also her choice. And I'm sure she wouldn't, get rid of all of her children to have her ballerina career back. But what I'm saying is that she should still be able to fulfill some of her dreams. They shouldn't all go down the drain just because she's a mom, especially since they have the ability to get help so that they can both be fulfilled in their lives. Also, a side note, when it comes to their wealth, part of me wonders if their TikTok and meat business and everything took off and is as successful as it is because they already had the ability to make investments. And I feel like money gets people really far, and being an heir to JetBlue, having family that owns that, I feel like, is there money involved behind the scenes sometimes? It like pushes people out there. That's besides the point, but I cannot help but wonder. You know what I mean? But I will say this, I enjoy watching her TikToks. I find them very soothing, just nice to watch. I love the aesthetic of it, the outfits, the meals that are cooked. I just feel bad that she's not able to get help if she needs it, and that she's made to feel guilty if she does need that help. So then we get to this part that says, I look out at the vastness and don't totally agree. Daniel wanted to live in the great western wilds, so they did. He wanted a farm, so they do. He likes date nights once a week, so they go, and they have a babysitter for those nights. So he's totally fine with somebody watching their kids when it's something that benefits them. But if she needs help because she's exhausted, then he doesn't believe in it. Interesting. It says he didn't want nannies in the house, so there aren't any. The only space earmarked to be Neilman's own is a small barn that she wanted to convert into a ballet studio, which ended up becoming the kids' schoolroom because she also homeschools all of the kids herself. So she not only makes all the food from scratch, she gardens, she farms, she does her sourdough thing, she cooks from scratch every single day. She has her TikTok business because that is a business. She makes money from that, creates this content. She's potentially filming these on her own and editing them. I don't know. And then she has all of these kids she's breastfeeding. It's a lot. And then on top of that, she's homeschooling them. And then she's probably going to be pregnant in another month. And so with how many kids she has, she's doing a lot of this while she's also pregnant and postpartum, alone, without support. Reporter says, I want to ask her about birth control, but we are surrounded by so many of her children, and Daniel is back in the room now too. Do you, I pause and look at her fixedly, plan pregnancies? Daniel says no, okay? And then Neilman responds gently. When he says no, it's very much a matter of prayer for me. I'm like, God, is it time to bring another one to earth? And I've never been told no. But for whatever reason, it's exactly 9 months after a baby that she's ready for the next one, he says. It's definitely a matter of prayer, she says. It's a matter of prayer, but somehow it's exactly 9 months. That does show me that, like, she obviously wants the babies. Like, he's not forcing the babies on her, which is good. We don't want that to be what's happening. But the problem with this that I think that some people are missing, that I think is very important to bring up, is that it's not so much that he's like being like, you need need to have all these babies. It's that their religion and what they believe in is telling her that's what she's supposed to do. So there's got to be a little bit of guilt behind the scenes of, if I don't do this, is God going to be mad at me? There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes and what they believe in that is the reason why they make these decisions. Not so much that, he's holding her at gunpoint in the moment and being like, you will make a baby with me. It's not that he's forcing her to, but the religion is already doing that. She's already indoctrinated into it. She's already brainwashed into it. If you want to have a whole bunch of kids, like if you want 1 million children running around, that is totally up to you. You do you. It's just, for me, it gets concerning when your own children are now having to take care of each other and not being able to just be kids because there's too many of them for you to safely watch them and keep your eye on them at all times. Now, this is one that I find particularly disturbing. I have to talk about this before we move on. This is really disturbing. So it says the bedroom is also where she had her children, with the exception of Henry and Martha, who were born in a hospital. After that, I was like, I'm ready to go back home, she says. I just love having them at home. It's so quiet. She also gave birth to them without pain relief. None at all? She shakes her head. Why? The reporter asked her. I don't know. I just have never loved taking it. But then she stops herself and she says, except with Martha. I was 2 weeks overdue and she was 10 pounds and Daniel wasn't with me. She lowers her voice. Daniel is currently out of the room taking a phone call. So I got an epidural and it was an amazing experience. Where was Daniel that day? The reporter asks her. It was shipping day for the meat boxes and he was manning the crew, but the epidural was kind of great. She pauses and smiles. It was kind of great. That is so disturbing to me because the only time that she felt comfortable to ask for an epidural was when her husband was not there. And also the fact that he left her with no pain relief, with no epidural, to miss the birth of his child, to go on his farm and work this meat business thing that he has all these workers that could just do it. He left her alone. If you have so many kids that you're just kind of like, meh, whatever, just another one, when it comes to their birth, and then you're also not going to be there supporting your wife, that you're forcing to have painful births and it's not her choice every time, like, you are next level disgusting. Like, it's interesting to me that not only did she feel comfortable enough to get an epidural when he wasn't there, but that she's still whispering it when he is around so that he doesn't hear her talk about it, as if he's still not in approval of it. So this man doesn't want her to have any nannies, even though he has workers helping him on the farm. And he doesn't want her to have any pain relief when she has all these children that he keeps impregnating her with. And then he's not even there for her when it comes to watching all the kids throughout the day, or to hold her hand and rub her back and be there for her as she's going through a painful birth with a 10-pound baby unmedicated. That's not somebody who loves you, okay? I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you have somebody like that, that is not somebody who loves you, because somebody who loves you is going to be there to support you through your labor and delivery. They're going to want you to be comfortable. They're going to want you to do what is best for you, not them. Their opinions on your birth and labor should not come before your own, ever. It's disgusting. You just want to watch her suffer. Does it make you feel like better about yourself to be married to a woman who's suffering? Then you have this video here where he gives her an apron for her birthday.
Okay, it was my birthday present from Daniel. Hoping their tickets to Greece.
Where's it from?
I don't know, the boys took it off.
I took it off.
It's from Ukraine.
So, plane tickets? Ooh, a hat I can wear in Greece.
It's not a hat.
It's not.
Oh, my egg apron!
Eggs in it.
Great, I can gather eggs.
So
Yeah,
cute. It's really cute. Really
Yeah.
cute one.
That's the best. You're welcome.
Thanks, honey.
Not for a long time.
Doesn't wrap it. It's in a brown box. He said it's been sitting around for a long time. This apron did not cost a lot of money. And not only that, it's like here's your birthday gift. You want to go to Greece, but nah, go get me some eggs, okay, from the backyard. All right, woman. You know, like that's how it comes off. You can tell she's disappointed. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why they uploaded this video. It is so awkward. It is such a disappointing, anticlimactic video. Like the weird, awkward dance at the end is giving Ashley Simpson when she got caught lip syncing on Saturday Night Live. I don't know what is, it's just weird. It's uncomfortable. And also his weird, like, you're welcome. Like, don't say thank you. Like, it's just the whole video. I don't understand why they uploaded this. It coincides with what the reporter was saying because she has done a response video to this, which I'm about to react to. But what's interesting about her response video is that she's just talking about the things that the reporter said and, you know, saying that they're not true. But it's not just what the reporter said though. It's also the videos that people have seen, like that apron one. Okay, the reporter didn't tell you to upload that video and film it and tell you what to say. And also, like, the quotes in it are from you guys verbatim. Like, they're from you. Like, these are things you said. So my opinion on everything still stands, but let's go ahead and watch her video really quick.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a reporter come into our home to learn more about our family and business. We thought the interview went really well, very similar to the dozens of interviews we had done in recent memory. We were taken back, however, when we saw the printed article, which shocked us and shocked the world by being an attack on our family and my marriage, portraying me as oppressed, with my husband being the culprit. This couldn't be further from the truth. Nothing we said in the interview implied this conclusion, which leads me to believe the angle taken was predetermined. For Daniel and I, our priority in life is God and family. Everything else comes second. The greatest day of my life was when Daniel and I were married 13 years ago. Together we have built a business from scratch. We've brought 8 children into this world and have prioritized our marriage all along the way. We are co-parents, co-CEOs, co-diaper changers, kitchen cleaners, and decision makers. We are one. And I love him more today than I did 13 years ago. We have many dreams still to accomplish. We aren't done having babies. We are excited for our new farm store to open, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for the rest of it. But for now, I'm doing what I love most, being a mother, wife, a businesswoman, a farmer, a lover of Jesus, and making meals from scratch.
My opinion on that is that she is just brainwashed into this cult. Okay, her response, she is brainwashed into it. Some people think he wrote it. I don't. I think she's brainwashed into it. And the reason why is because I have done a lot of looking into Mormon families. And I use the Duggars as an example a lot because most of us know who they are. A lot of their daughters end up going on to get married and pop out baby after baby after baby because from the time that they were born, they have been indoctrinated to believe that this is what they are supposed to do. Now, I do not know if she was born into this or not, but either way, at some point she got brainwashed and she believes this is what she is supposed to do until she decides for herself that she doesn't want this anymore and then is being held against her will. There's not really anything that anybody can do. We can all react to it and be like, this is just frustrating, or you can have your opinion on it, but at the end of the day, this is her decision, and I feel that she's just too brainwashed into the cult. She's too indoctrinated. This is what's giving her fulfillment, and you know, like it's her body, her choice. If she wants to have a dozen children, have your children. I really hope that they will look into getting her some help and understanding that that is okay. You're not up on a pedestal any higher than someone who needs help, okay? Her being home with all of her 8 kids and getting so exhausted to the point that she can't get out of bed for a week doesn't make her a better mother than the one who works a 9-to-5 job and needs a babysitter. Do you know what I mean? And I think people who do things like this, they think it makes them better somehow, but honestly, no. It said in the article he's not allowing her to have help. If she wants help and she can't get it because of him, he's a dick. And I don't know. I feel like she's just too in the thick thick of it, and there's not anything that anybody can say. There's always going to be concerning things when it comes to Mormonism and all that, and it's never going to fly with me. I'm not into it. I think that it's a toxic, dangerous cult. The man is at the forefront making the decision, and the woman is just doing whatever the man says that she needs to do, and I'm not about it. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think in the comments down below about this whole situation. Curious to hear your thoughts. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys soon for another video.